Hey, you guys, welcome back to What's Happening. So, Melody's brother Marcus came on live today, and I was glad to see his face because I knew he wasn't going to sit back after the B word was referenced to his sister more than once on a review. He said, I needed to address some things, and basically, he said it's one thing for women to go back and forth with each other. He said that's fine, but when it comes to men attacking you, he said it's a whole different story for him. Now, he did say that he had listened to Funky Dineva a couple of months ago, and he kept on running his mouth, saying stuff about Melody, and he said he started to get on to say something, but then he said no. He said he was just going to let the girls do what they do, and he just chose to remain silent. Now, he did mention when Funky Dineva said that he found himself being emotionally drained and feeling his mood being altered because of what was taking place as far as the reaction from the fans. And that he decided that he wasn't going to watch. And Marcus said, obviously, you haven't been watching because just about everything you said was not true. And then he referenced how Funky Dineva said he got too close to the situation. Well, Marcus said, you got to know that he's real close to the situation. So this is a different feeling. He said, especially because this is his sister. And he referenced the fact that Funky Dineva said that he wasn't watching the show, but he had to be getting his information from somewhere. He mentioned something like you was getting some cake and hot dogs from somewhere. But he said that a lot of the comments and things that were made, a lot of it just wasn't true. Some of it was incorrect. And basically, he said he just wasn't going to be quiet in this instance. Now, he did say when the show initially came on, season 1, that Funky Dineva had some harsh comments to say about Melody. He said, but once he appeared on the show, Marcus, he said then all of a sudden the comments turned to basically that he liked Melody. He was like, then all of a sudden it switches back to him not liking Melody and saying a lot of harsh things about her. And he feels like Funky is now getting his cakes and eating cakes and hot dogs from another table. And he says, now you want to come back around and everything you say is negative about Melody. He said Funky Dineva was double-minded and unstable, and that to him it was crazy because he said your perspective of a person should not change so drastically. Now, he did say he was just going to put it out there that he does like Marceau. He said he's liked him from day one, and that he just basically from watching the show, he thought he was a pretty cool guy. And even though what he saw on the show take place, he said his real feelings haven't really changed, and that he just puts in his mind that this is TV, and he tries not to allow himself get too involved into it. Now, what brought Marcus out was the continuous use of the B word. He didn't like the fact that Funky was referencing Melody as a B continuously in his review. He said, if you're saying like Trina says, I'm the baddest B, or he said, if you were saying Melody is a bad B, he said it's kind of okay, but it's really not. But then he said, you sat up there and said, if a B is beefing with my cousin, I wouldn't have nothing to say beyond hello, or I'm not sitting up here having no conversations with this B. He said he found it to be very distasteful, and he used it a couple times too many, which he didn't like, and obviously a whole lot of other people didn't like it. He said, how would you feel if somebody called your mama a B or inferred that your mama had a B? He said, it just wouldn't be right. So he said Funky Dineva needs to think about what he says and how he says it if he's going to be a blogger. He said, to me, you should have some balance. And he feels like, Funky said he wasn't watching the show for the past 2 seasons. So he said you had to be getting your information from somewhere. He said now all of a sudden, you're going to start watching. He said, I guess it's because you went down to Huntsville and had some kind of double baked potatoes that was brought to your house where you were, or something for Juneteenth weekend. He said, so now everything is good and you're over in this corner, and everything that you're going to say about Melody is going to be negative. He said, but you can say anything you want about Melody because she's strong enough to hold her own, but to watch the use of the B word. He said he don't like that tone. And first of all, he said, you don't want nobody calling you no names that you know are derogatory. Now, towards the end, Marcus threw some flour at the tip of his nose and told Funky Dineva to stop all that sniffing when you're talking. He thanked the Melometers for supporting his sister. He said that he appreciates it, Melody appreciates it, and basically that Melody has people in her corner, that he's got his sister's back. So, he don't like to have to come out, but when he needs to, he will. So sound off below and let me know what you all think about what Marcus had to say. I just want to say I'm so glad he came out and he said something in Melody's defense. And I know it's probably hard because, it is reality TV, but when someone is referencing your family member with that type of word, sometimes you just got to get involved. Well, all right, give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget, comment below and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update from What's Happening.